Hi there. Welcome back to How to Sell in Any Economy. This is episode 3. My name is Stan Peak, and with me, as always, are my brilliant co-authors, Catherine Brownlee and Lee Cassells. Although Lee Cassells is not here today, so I just lied. Regardless, today what we want to get into is really how to adjust your value proposition. In episode 2, we talked about how to formulate your value proposition using a 3-step process. And it's really important that business owners and professionals who are hoping to add value to their organization understand that your value proposition is not a one and done. Sometimes, especially in a crisis, it feels like a moving target. So the first step is really to go through and identify your value proposition. If you missed it, go back, watch episode 2. We use that 3-step process where you can understand exactly how you're valuable and who you provide value to. So that needs to be done. That's the foundational work. Where we want to dive into today is the fact that amidst a crisis, your customers, who you serve, they're changing. They might not be changing because you're changing markets, but when we understand the behavior and the needs of your customer base, your customers' needs and behavior is changing in result to a global pandemic. So we deal collectively with a lot of business leaders and entrepreneurs, and we see a lot of panic right now. And what we're trying to reassure people with is that your business did not completely dissolve. The floor is not gone. It's just moved a lot. And so in order to understand not how you can still make money, in order to understand how you can still be of value and how you can still be a viable business, instead of what do I do, what do I sell, the better question to ask is, how has my consumer behavior changed? What do they need now? And how can I offer that? And the companies and professionals that are really going to win through and on the other side of this challenge are the ones that will answer that question the best. There's a huge difference in terms of business between how you could make money and how you should make money. And so the answer to that question is to really understand the relationship between your value proposition and your ideal customer. And so when we know how our customer behavior changes, and I'm going to speak to the business side of this, and Catherine can speak to the world of work around these changes, then we can meet our customers where they're at with value. So if we used to sell, for instance, just had a meeting this morning with someone who repair equipment, everything from tractors and all these kinds of things. That's what they did. Well, their consumer base is shrinking, but their consumer base revenue, the revenue they have, is more important than ever. And broken down machinery is a cause of economic drain and lost potential. So downtime, what we call in business, is more costly than ever. So this person might be able to shift what they do in their business. And I'll give them a shout out, by the way, father and sons, because they do such great work, and actually they take at-risk youth and find meaningful employment for them in the trades. Founder's name is Jason, great guy. So if you are looking to support a business with a cause, father and sons is a great example. But with their business, because they can take machinery that leads to economic value that's down and repurpose it or fix it quicker, they can actually be even more valuable to their customers now. However, some of those customers are out of business or told they have to close. Others aren't. So if they can just shift their focus just a little bit wider, then they can understand how to reposition their value proposition, and also where new entire market segments might open up because of their core skills, which is a way faster and a way more tactical business conversation than what else can I do? What else can I sell? That's a dangerous question for an entrepreneur. The equation works in business too. We don't just want to help people who are growing and starting a business. We want to help people who are looking for a job. And if you know your inherent worth, if you know your great skills, if you know the problems you solve for your employer, that's your value proposition as an employee. So here to the expert, someone who's been a recruiter for 22 years and filled thousands of roles and helped hundreds of companies, I'll turn it to the expert, Catherine Brownlee, to talk about how to shift your value proposition as an employer.
Oh, thank you. So to an employer, I suppose you mean.
Sorry, to an employer, yes.
Wonderful. I just wanted clarity. I wasn't sure which side I was going to come from. So yeah, so employers will be looking for a wide variety of talent right now. And in fact, even what they're looking for right now is going to change dramatically again in the next couple of months. So we knew prior to this global crisis that exponential change was everywhere. Robotics, AI, machine learning, blockchain, all of these things were already happening. And now add the global situation that we've been in and truly been forced to be able to stay at home, work from home. So things have changed so fast and will continue to. And I think whatever skills we had can be repurposed for whatever is coming. And again, it may not be exactly the job in mind that you think you might have been applying for prior to this. I'm suggesting, and we're suggesting, to stay open, to use the same skills, but be ready to apply them in many other ways. So we called it pivoting or repotting prior to this. So when you're crystal clear about the skills that you have, and that's the things that only you own. You're very good at very specific things, and you get crystal clear about that, and then you can apply those to roles that are going to be available. Not always are they going to be posted. Many of the employers now and in the near future don't even know what they're going to need yet. So be ready and open, and that's where back when we're talking about networking, online marketing, networking, watch for all the opportunities and the reach outs from people saying, does anybody know how to do this? Or does anybody know about blockchain or any of those pieces? You might end up being that key facilitator that maybe makes an introduction, but is the one that is the organizational development person that supports it. And again, they may not even know if they need it yet. So we're suggesting be open and be ready with all the skills that you already have.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Catherine. I know we're talking mostly about how to sell in any economy, but a lot of those people that do sales every day are employees, which is why we wanted to cover that. So this has been episode 3 of how to sell in any economy. We did reference the notion of an ideal customer. And so join us for episode 4, where all 3 of our co-authors are going to go deep in how to construct your ideal customer avatar, whether you are business to business or whether you sell direct to consumer. Thanks again, as always, to my brilliant co-authors, and thank you to you for joining us for episode 3 of How to Sell in Any Economy.
Thank you, Stan.